What documents shall I bring when I travel abroad? A lot of our fellow Pinoys are asking me this. Well, as you all know, traveling abroad is a tedious process. Aside kasi na magastos, kinakailangan mo ring paghandaan ang mga papeles na kinakailangan ipresenta mo sa immigration officers. Take note also that the documents differs from each traveler depending on your social status or nature of your work. It differs if you are a government employee, a private employee, a businessman or a businesswoman, a student, or if you are sponsored by your relative abroad. This video is divided into two parts. In the first part of our video, we're going to tackle about the documents needed for travelers abroad, specifically for the government employee, private employee, businessman and businesswomen, student, those adults traveling with a child or a minor, and of course, those that are sponsored by the relative abroad. So, if you're ready, then let's get started. First off are the requirements needed if you are a government employee. So here are the list of the documents that a government employee needs to comply when traveling abroad. First is the travel permit, and here are the requirements in obtaining a travel permit. First is the letter of intent. And here are the things that you need to remember when writing your letter of intent. First, you must clearly state in your letter the purpose of your travel. Second, here is an example of a letter of intent, and this is the actual letter of intent that I actually used when I applied for my travel permit before. So as you can see, the purpose of my travel, as well as the number of days or the inclusive dates of my travel, as well as the country that I'm going to visit, were clearly stated in my letter. Well, of course, this is just an example, and you can make your own style or format of a letter of intent. Second, you also need to secure a certificate of employment or the latest service record. And when it comes to your COE or certificate of employment, here are the things that you need to remember. Dapat doon sa iyong letter nakastate ang petsa kung kailan ka na-hired, and it must also be stated there that you are still active or connected with the company or with the agency at the present. Pangalawa, dapat nakastate din doon ang iyong posisyon, and of course, your monthly salary. You also need to remember na kapag ikaw ay nag-resign na from your position, hindi ka na maaaring kumuha or mag-request ng authority to travel or travel permit because you are no longer connected with the agency or with the company. Kasi minsan merong iba din na nagtatanong na nag-resign na ako, pwede pa ba akong kumuha ng travel permit? Well, of course, the answer is clear and plain. You cannot anymore obtain a travel permit kasi nga hindi ka na konektado sa agency or sa company. Pangatlo, you also need to secure a school or a company clearance. Pang-apat, you also need to secure yung tinatawag nating CSC Form 6 because you are in the government, or yung leave form. So lahat ng mga documents na ito i-compile mo sa iisang folder. Now, for the DepEd officials or for the DepEd teachers or employees, you also need to comply the same documents and the same requirements. But here is the exact or the proper steps on how you are going to obtain your travel permit. So, pag-uusapan natin yung step-by-step na process. First, you need to have the letter of intent. At ang iyong letter of intent dapat naka-address diretso sa iyong Division School Superintendent, hindi sa principal. Si principal ay pipirma lamang doon sa iyong letter of intent as noted. So, magno-note lang doon si principal. And then remember also na dapat ang iyong letter ay original, hindi siya pwedeng photocopy lang. Pangalawa, attach your COE, the service record, the school clearance, the leave form or yung form 6, i-attach mo doon, and then it would be better if you're going to provide at least 3 copies for each of the documents. Kinakailangan si school merong kopya, ikaw meron kang kopyang personal, and then si division office meron ding kopya or yung papel na ipapasa mo kay division office. Yung personal mo na kopya dapat ipa-receive mo yon, kasi di ba usual na kalakaran natin sa DepEd or sa gobyerno, kapag meron kang isinubmit na papeles, kinakailangang may tatak na na-receive ito ng opisina. Number 3, pagkatapos mong makompile ang lahat ng mga documents na ito, the principal will now endorse your letter to the division office. Remember na hindi na ito dadaan sa district supervisor o sa district office. So from the principal's office, i-endorse niya yan doon sa division office. Now, pang-apat, pagdating doon sa division office, you need to comply another clearance. Ito naman yung tinatawag nating division clearance. So, papipirmahan mo ang lahat ng mga kinakailangang papirmahan doon, and then you also need to comply the documents that the division office will require from you. Pang-5, kapag natapos na ang proseso doon sa division office, the division office or the superintendent will now endorse your document doon sa central office. Remember, nasa central office na kasi nagbago na ang policy ng DepEd. Before, sa regional office lamang ang processing. Tapos from the regional office, ibabalik na sa iyo ang iyong document along with your authority to travel. Pero ngayon, nagbago na nga ang policy ng DepEd. So doon ka na papapirma kay DepEd Secretary, not anymore in the regional director. So here are the options na pwede mong gawin while you are processing or when you are processing your authority to travel. First, wait for the release of your documents. Kung hindi ka naman nagmamadali, kung hindi naman rush yung travel mo, so you can just stay where you are and then wait for your documents to be released from the central office. The usual processing of this is 1 month to 2 months. So, if you are not in hurry, then it's okay to wait. Pangalawa, you can also process your authority to travel doon sa central office provided that you have an authority to hand carry issued by the division office. So, my advice is that 2 to 3 days prior sa flight mo papunta sa ibang bansa, pumunta ka na ng Maynila so that you will have ample time to wait, to process or to follow up and to claim your travel permit. Pangatlo, pwede ka rin mag-designate ng iyong relatives, kamag-anak or friends or kapamilya na magpoproseso ng iyong paper, provided also that they have the authority to hand carry and the SPA or yung tinatawag nating special power of attorney. Here is an example of a travel permit and the documents na naka-attach doon. As you can see, naka-attach along with the travel permit or the authority to travel ang leave form 6 or the CSC form 6, and then kinakailangan na doon sa form 6 mo nakapirma si principal at si superintendent. And then the COE, much better kung ang iyong COE ay nakanotaryo. The endorsement letter of the principal and the superintendent, and of course, yung i-attach ng division office na affidavit of no pending case. The second requirement is the most important requirement of all, and this is our passport. Kasi kapag wala tayong passport, hindi tayo makaka-travel abroad. So first thing that you need to remember when it comes to your passport is dapat ito ay valid for 6 months. Ibig sabihin, if you are holding an old passport, kinakailangan meron pa siyang natitirang 6 months or 6 na buwan bago siya mag-expire. Well, if you are holding a newly issued passport, then there is no problem with that. Pangalawa, our passport must be in a good condition. Walang punit, walang sira, walang tampered, or di kaya hindi siya nabasa. Kasi kapag meron yung tampered, punit, or nabasa at hindi mabasa, mascan ng immigration officer yung ating information, then it might be the cause na mahinder yung ating desire to travel abroad. And then, pangatlo, if you have been traveling before, you may also bring with you your old passport para ipakita mo sa immigration officer as a proof na hindi mo first time mag-travel abroad. So just in case hanapin ng IO, then you have something to show or you have a supplement. Pangatlo is ang round trip ticket. So here are the things that you need to remember for your round trip ticket. First, ang ating round trip ticket ay isa sa mga documents na hahanapin ng immigration officer along with our travel permit or any other documents. Pangalawa, dapat ba talagang round trip ticket ang ating kukunin? Yes, of course, especially for the first time travelers. Kasi pag one-way ticket lang ang iyong kukunin, maaring ito ang maging dahilan na i-offload ka ni immigration officer because your documents is insufficient or may kulang. There are a lot of instances already na merong mga iilan na na-offload just because iisa lamang ang kanilang ticket. Kasi kapag iisa lang ang ticket mo, maaring magduda si immigration officer na hindi ka na babalik sa bansa. And remember also na ang ating round trip ticket dapat in consonance siya doon sa dineclare nating inclusive dates sa ating letter of intent para hindi tayo magka-problema. And number 3, our ticket must also be printed. Kasi nga, hahanapin ng immigration officer. So, dapat isasama mo siya doon sa mga documents mo na ipapakita mo sa immigration officer. Hindi natin pwedeng ipresenta yung mga screenshot sa ating phones or yung email ng airlines. So, you really need to print your ticket. And you can also book your ticket ahead of time para at least makatipid ka. Kasi kapag rush or kung kailan ka aalis na saka ka mag-book, medyo mahal ang ticket minsan. Number 4, ang ating hotel booking. Ang hotel booking ay isa sa mga hahanapin na documents ni immigration officer. So, dapat ang ating hotel booking ay naka-print out din. Just like our round trip ticket. So, for your booking needs, you may use the following: the booking.com, the Airbnb, the Agoda, or other hotel booking providers. So, kung saan yung nakasanayan mo or mas kampante ka na mag-book, doon ka mag-book. But in our case, usually yung ginagamit namin ay yung booking.com because meron siyang tinatawag na free cancellation. And then, meron din siyang options na pwede kang hindi mo na magbayad, hindi sila manghihingi ng debit or credit card kasi doon ka na magbabayad sa hotel upon your arrival. Pero of course, nasa sa iyo ang desisyon kung saan ka mag-book ng hotel. And of course, you also need to remember na dapat memoryado mo or familiarize mo ang pangalan ng hotel where you will stay, at the same time the address, just in case the IO will ask you about this, then you can give also the definite information. Panglima is ang ating travel itinerary. So ano nga ba itong travel itinerary or tour itinerary? So the tour itinerary is a detailed tour plan. Dito nakasaad kung anong mga lugar ang ating bibisitahin, ano ang ating mga activities na gagawin sa ibang bansa, and of course the inclusive dates also of our travel. So dapat yung dates ng ating tour itinerary, date ng ating round trip ticket, date ng ating hotel, at yung petsa na nakasaad sa iyong letter of intent, dapat magkatugma yan lahat, hindi pwedeng paiba-iba. Kasi kapag nakita o napansin ng immigration officer ng ating petsa sa ating mga documents ay paiba-iba, then maybe you will be subjected for a deeper interrogation doon sa immigration section. So para maiwasan yan, kinakailangan magkaugnay lahat. And then, you also need to remember na pwede kang gumawa ng iyong sariling travel itinerary. Pwede kang makipag-coordinate sa mga travel agency if you can afford to pay them. And pwede ka rin kumopya ng mga ready-made na template doon sa internet. Anyway, madami naman yan sa internet. Especially yung mga blogs ng mga travelers. Minsan nagbibigay sila ng mga tips or ng ready-made na mga travel itinerary na pwede mo ring gamitin. Next is the passbook or the latest bank statement. So, these documents, sometimes hahanapin din ito ni immigration officer as a proof of our financial capacity to finance our travel abroad. You have to also remember na ang ating bank statement dapat latest. So, kukunin mo ang iyong bank statement a week or 2 or 3 days before ang iyong flight para makita ni immigration officer na active yung iyong account and then meron pa siyang laman. And remember also that if you wanted to bring your credit card or debit card or ATM card, kinakailangan na ipa-activate mo muna yan for the international use. Kasi kapag hindi yan naka-activate for international use, hindi mo yan magagamit sa ibang bansa. Made-decline ang lahat ng mga transaction mo using your card. So ang iyong gagawin, pumunta ka doon sa iyong bangko, sabihin mo na ipapa-activate mo ang iyong credit card or debit card perhaps. Tapos sabihin mong it's for the international use para at least maasikaso ng bangko. Kasi kapag nandito ka na sa ibang bansa, medyo mahihirapan ka kasi you need to contact the bank or you need to ask someone to go to the bank and have it activated on your behalf. Take note also na si immigration officer, yung minsan tinatanong ng iba na hahanapin ba talaga yung pera o yung tinatawag nilang show money. Hindi yung actual na pera ang titingnan ng immigration officer. Ang immigration officer would sometimes ask you kung ilang o magkano ang perang dala mo. Kung meron ka bang credit card or meron ka bang debit card. Hindi nila ipapabilang or titingnan yung actual mong pera. Yung bank statement lang or passbook. And since we are speaking about money, I would also like to give you this tip na, like for example, if you are flying going to Vietnam, you convert your money from peso into dollar. Pero mag-iwan ka lang ng enough na peso na pamasahe mo going to the airport, tapos pangbayad mo ng travel tax or pangbayad mo ng excess baggage if you have. So, yung peso mo, ipapalit mo sa dollar. Tapos at the same time, magpapalit ka rin ng enough na VND or ng Vietnamese dong para at least pagdating mo ng Vietnam, hindi ka problema kung saan ka. Although meron namang mga money changer sa airport, pero at least meron ka ng dala para at least kung bibili ka ng SIM card, pamasahe mo sa taxi or pambili mo ng pagkain, then you have enough money. So my advice is that convert your peso into dollar. Dollar ang dadalhin mo dito sa Vietnam, tapos dito ka na magpapalit. When it comes naman sa pagpapalit ng pera, pwede kang magpa-convert ng dollar to dong sa mga bank or sa mga gold shop. Depende kung saan yung matitipuhan mo at mas mataas ang palitan. Next, number 7, remember also that you also need to bring with you a valid IDs. So this could be your company ID, your driver's license, your PRC. So lahat dapat valid, hindi siya expired. So these are just supplementary documents na pwede nating ipresenta kay IO just in case maghanap sila. And now, pag-uusapan naman natin ang mga documents na kinakailangan ng mga nasa private sector. So, if you are a private employee, here are the things that you need to prepare and you also need to remember. First requirement is ang iyong passport na dapat valid. Pangalawa, permit to travel. Ang iyong permit to travel dapat nakasaad doon na inaalaw ka ng company o ng iyong boss na makapag-travel abroad. The same din, dapat nakasaad din doon ang iyong inclusive dates of your travel, the purpose of your travel, and the country that you are going to visit. Pangatlo, you also need to have your valid company ID. Pang-apat, your certificate of employment. The same doon sa government employees, nakasaad din dapat doon kung kailan ka na-hired and you are still connected with the company at the present, yung iyong salary at ang iyong position in the company. You also need to have the latest bank statement para sa iyong proof of financial capacity bilang patunay na kaya mong i-finance ang iyong travel abroad. Pang-anim, you need also to have the round-trip ticket. You also need to have the printed travel itinerary, that's number 7, and of course number 8, your printed hotel booking. So the same with the government employee, kinakailangan mo ding i-familiarize or as much as possible i-memorize ang lahat ng mga detalye ng mga documents na dala mo. Next, these are the documents naman na kinakailangan ng mga businessmen or ng mga businesswomen o yung mga taong walang trabaho, unemployed, pero meron silang mga negosyo. So number 1 is the valid passport. Pangalawa, valid company ID if applicable or if meron kayong ID sa inyong company. Pang-apat, printed round-trip ticket. Pang-lima, your printed travel itinerary. Number 6, your printed hotel booking. And pang-pito, ang iyong business permit na dapat hindi expired. Number 8, you also need to provide a proof of income. For example, yung mga resibo, passbook, bank statement, or any proof na magpapatunay na meron kang lehitimong negosyo at kumikita ka sa iyong negosyo. Now, with regards to your business permit, kinakailangang ang iyong business permit ay nakapangalan sa iyo. In case naman na sa parents mo nakapangalan, ang iyong gagawin ay ito. Gumawa ka ng affidavit of support stating na ang parents mo ang mag-finance na iyong trip abroad. Papirmahan mo sa kanila and at the same time, ipanotarize mo sa abogado para maging legitimate at legal ang iyong papeles. Number 9, you may also, okay, this is actually optional. You may also bring a picture of your business, like picture ng opisina or yung inyong establishment, just in case na medyo hindi kumbinsido pa rin si immigration officer sa mga pinisenta mong documents, then meron kang i-supplement na mga evidences. And if you are doing business online or you are an online seller, you also need to provide a proof of income. So, pwede mong gamitin ang mga resibo mo. Pwede mo rin gamitin na proof ang iyong bank statement na kung saan makikita doon na merong mga income na pumapasok from your clients. So, pwede mong gamitin yon. Pwede mo rin i-present sa immigration officer ang iyong FB page na kung saan ka nagbibenta ng mga products. And kapag ikaw naman ay unemployed, medyo mahihirapan kang ma-convince ngayon sa immigration officer kasi kapag wala kang trabaho, wala ka pang negosyo, so wala ka ring ipapakitang proof of income. So the option would be, pwede kang magdala ng mga titulo ng lupa, make sure na sa iyo nakapangalan, or meron kang mga real estate properties, meron kang farm. So, you need to provide also documents for that. So, just make sure na talagang makakonvince mo si immigration officer that you have the financial capacity to travel. At ito naman ang mga requirements if ikaw ay estudyante. So, first, valid passport. Pangalawa, valid school ID. Pangatlo, enrollment certificate or study load. So, this is to prove that you are currently studying at magbabakasyon ka lang sa ibang bansa. Pang-apat, latest bank statement if you have a bank account. Pang-lima, printed round-trip ticket. Pang-anim, printed travel itinerary. Pang-pito, printed hotel booking. Now, if you are traveling alone at first time mo pa tapos wala ka pang bank statement, I suggest that you bring a letter from your parents stating that they will finance your trip abroad. Or ito yung tinatawag nating affidavit of support. So, papipirmahan mo sa parents mo, at the same time, ipanotaryo mo na din sa abogado para sigurado ka. At ito naman ang mga documents na kinakailangan at mga bagay na dapat mong tandaan if you will be sponsored by your relatives working or staying abroad. So here are the documents that you need to secure. First, Philippine Embassy or Consulate Authenticated Affidavit of Support with Undertaking. Ang kukuha nito ay ang kamag-anak mo na nasa abroad. So sino nga ba ang mga pwedeng sponsor ng mga kamag-anak na nasa abroad? First, ay ang kanyang immediate family members. So this includes his wife or husband, ang kanyang nanay at tatay, at ang kanyang mga kapatid, or di kaya yung kanyang mga pamangkin. Pwede ring sponsor ang mga kamag-anak na pasok sa 4th civil degree of consanguinity. So halimbawa yung mga pinsang buo, pwede din yung ating affinity or yung ating mga bayaw, hipag at biyanan. These are the documents na kinakailangang i-secure ng sponsor na nasa abroad mula sa Philippine Embassy or sa Philippine Consulate, and it must be authenticated. So first is the sponsor's financial capacity. Ito yung patunay na kaya ni sponsor na i-finance ang travel abroad ni relatives mula sa Pilipinas kasi meron siyang trabaho at meron siyang income. Pangalawa, the sponsor's legal status. So this includes his or her working permit, work contract, and of course his or her residence visa. Pangatlo, the sponsor's contact information. Or pang-apat, in case naman na si sponsor ay kasama ang kanyang relatives papunta sa abroad, so kinakailangan niya ring mag-secure ng tinatawag na affidavit of support and undertaking, which shall contain the following. Una, the sponsor's financial capacity. Pangalawa, the sponsor's undertaking that the passenger is just a tourist and will travel back to the Philippines. And then, pangatlo, dapat naka-attach din doon ang sponsor's complete residential address and all of the contact details of the sponsoring relatives. So ano nga ba itong tinatawag nating affidavit of undertaking? Ang affidavit of undertaking seems like a promissory note na kung saan doon nakasaad sa note na iyon or sa letter na yan na kung ano mang ang mangyari sa kay relatives na nasa ibang bansa, ang may pananagutan ay ang sponsor. At kapag hindi bumalik ang spinonsorang kamag-anak sa Pilipinas, si sponsor ngayon ang tatawagan or tatanungin ng immigration kung bakit hindi na siya nakabalik. At with regards naman sa legal status, this includes the working permit, the TRC or the temporary residence card or the permanent residence card, and then the contract of the relatives abroad. Kasi kapag wala ka nito, hindi ka pwedeng mag-sponsor ng iyong kamag-anak. If you will do so, then you will face a consequence kasi meron itong violations sa ating immigration law. And reminders also sa mga passenger na sponsored ang kanilang trip. Remember na dapat i-familiarize ninyo ang lahat-lahat ng mga details ni sponsor para at least pag tinanong kayo ng IO or kahit anong pagtatanong man ang gawin ng IO, sigurado ka sa sagot mo at masasagot mo lahat ng mga katanungan. So huwag kang magpa-kampante. So mula sa pinakamaliit hanggang sa pinakamalalaking detalye, kinakailangang alam mo yan. Much better nga kung memorize mo lahat ng mga nakasulat dyan sa documents para at least sigurado ka rin sa iyong mga isasagot sa immigration officer. Kasi kapag sponsored ka, you have to take note na si immigration officer maaaring madami siyang itanong sa iyo about your personal and about sa relatives mo na nasa abroad. At ito naman ang mga dapat nating tandaan for adults traveling with a child. So first case, if ang bata magta-travel abroad kasama ang kanyang mga parents. So ito ang kinakailangan. First, ang passport ng bata at ang passport ng magulang. Pangalawa, ang mga legal documents ng mga magulang if sila ay nagtatrabaho sa abroad. And then, no need for the DSWD permit kasi nga nanay o tatay ang kasama, so you just have to bring the NSO birth certificate ng bata at ng magulang para at least maipakita mo sa immigration officer na talagang kayo ay legitimate na mag-ina o mag-ama. In case number 2 naman, if ang kasama ng bata ay ang kanyang relative or kaibigan ng kanyang magulang or ibang tao, so ito ang kinakailangan. Passport ng adult na kasama ng bata, ang passport ng bata, at ang permit mula sa DSWD. So, sino nga ba ang nangangailangan or kinakailangan na magkaroon ng permit from the DSWD? A Filipino minor below 18 years of age shall secure a DSWD-issued travel clearance if number 1, a Filipino minor is traveling alone to a foreign country or siya lang mag-isa ang mag-travel abroad. Or pangalawa, a Filipino minor is traveling to a foreign country accompanied by a person other than his or her parents. So for more information, pwede kayong tumawag or sumangguni sa DSWD kasi sila ang mas nakakaalam sa mga legal na proseso ng pagkuha ng travel permit sa mga minor de edad. At ito naman ang mga requirements na kinakailangan kapag ikaw ay OFW or meron ka ng hawak na mga legal na documents that you are working abroad. So number 1 is the unexpired passport. Pangalawa, unexpired and POEA conforming visa or yung ating working and residence visa abroad. Pangatlo, validly issued travel tickets, one way lamang kasi nga ikaw ay OFW na. Pang-apat, POEA or Peso Database issued e-receipt or the OEC or kung meron ka ng OFW ID or card, much better. So pag meron ka ng OEC at OFW card, so mas madali na ang paglabas at pagpasok sa bansa ng mga OFW or mga balik manggagawa.